friends, welcome back to the channel. I hope that most of you have been visiting some of those sites that I've been attaching to the previous videos about it being National Parks Week. Today I want to talk about Zion. My family and I went to Zion about 3 Christmases ago. There was snow everywhere. It was so beautiful. I really would like to go back probably in the summer or the spring to see those rock formations in a different type of weather, but I really enjoyed my time there. And I'm going to go ahead and attach a Zion website that you can take a virtual tour, and maybe you can see why Mrs. Guerrero loved it so very much. Yesterday was Earth Day. My favorite book to read for Earth Day is actually The Curious Garden, but I don't have The Curious Garden here. So I'll be attaching also a link to The Curious Garden. Some of you may remember this story because Mrs. Guerrero loves to read it on Earth Day. But today we're going to be talking about sharks. Piper and I have been watching this wonderful documentary series on Netflix called Our Planet. It's about 8 episodes and it covers all the different type of landscapes and environment that planet Earth has to offer. Oceans being one of them, Amazon rainforest. It also talks about the tundras and the deserts. So I want to focus today on the oceans because sharks have a bad reputation. A lot of us are afraid of them. Of them too, but they actually play an important role in the ecosystem of the ocean. So I really wanted to highlight them today in a positive way, kind of give sharks a thumbs up. So we're going to be reading this called If Sharks Disappeared. Look at all the different sharks that are highlighted even on the cover of this book. If Sharks Disappeared by Lily Williams. This is a healthy ocean. It's a balanced environment where many different animals and plants thrive. The ocean is home to a lot of creatures, big, small, slimy, cute, and scary. Sharks have helped keep our oceans balanced for about 450 million years. Over that time, they've evolved into the more than 400 different species that exist today. This is a timeline of the Big Bang all the way to present time. Sharks are apex predators, which means that they are at the top of the food chain in their ecosystem, the ocean. Losing an apex predator species can cause devastating effects in the environment. Today, roughly between 1/4 and 1/3 of shark species are vulnerable to extinction because of overfishing. What could happen if this continues and sharks disappear altogether? Well, if sharks disappeared, the ocean would no longer be balanced. Although different species have different diets, most sharks typically eat sick, slow, or weak prey, leaving the healthy animals to reproduce. If sharks disappeared, the populations of seals, sea lions, and other pinnipeds would potentially explode. At higher populations, they would eat more and more fish, and eventually, there won't be any fish left. They'd starve and they'd die out as well. If fish and pinnipeds disappeared, plankton, which is what many fish at the lower of the food chain eat, could quickly outgrow or actually grow out of control. That could make the ocean a thick sludge. Nothing could survive in this water. If the ocean became unlivable, many species of land animals that rely on the ocean for food, such as seabirds and polar bears, would starve and die out. The loss of those animals could cause still more species farther inland to die out. This pattern of cause and effect, called a trophic cascade, could spread like a wave across countries and continents until animals around the globe were affected, from bees to birds to bears, and eventually to us. All species depend on one another to survive by keeping our planet's ecosystems in balance. And luckily today, sharks still exist. Sharks inhabit all the oceans on Earth. If we remember that we are all connected and if we work together, sharks and our whole planet as we know it will thrive. And maybe we'll see that once what seemed to be scary isn't so scary after all. So this book really highlights about ecosystems. That's the balance, whether that be in the ocean or on land. In this case, sharks being the apex predator, friends, it's really important that they still remain at those high numbers as we overfish, which means we take more fish out of the ocean than we should. We're catching these sharks as well. And unfortunately, we're not really sure how fast sharks can even repopulate themselves. There's so little known about the ocean. I've once told you guys before that we know more about the moon than we know about the ocean. But what we do know is that sharks are an important part of that. And so I really encourage you to visit that Netflix series, Our Planet. I really think you're going to love it and see all the wonderful beauty that our planet's all about. See you next time, Lions.